Blog Talk Radio.
Good morning, and welcome to this week's segment of Live Without Limits. Today's show is titled Protecting the Lifeblood of Your Business. And why is this important? Because understanding your business, understanding what makes it and gets it where it is and keeps it where it is your being able to be successful. We are our customers as invited guests to a party, and we are the hosts. It's our job every day to make every important aspect of the customer experience a little bit better, said Jeff Bezos. You could have endless debates about practically any topic related to the business world. You must argue about the best type of business, a traditional brick and mortar business, or an online information publishing business, or something in between. Today, the business world is changing. How we do business has changed. Jeff Bezos and Amazon and Starbucks, all of those industries that started online and grew and are actually buying offline companies to enhance their ability to serve their customers, you are seeing that happen. It really happened back in the 90s when corporations began to merge. That's the first time you saw it. That was also about the same time that what you saw were people who were being laid off from corporations because companies had merged. And when they merged, they had too many people doing the same job. And at that time, when you worked for the corporation, there was an unwritten rule that you had a job for life. So that was when you saw all the buyout packages be going on. The difference is today there is no guaranteed job for any company. And Amazon, Apple, all of these corporations, the majority of their customer service people that you talk to don't even work in an office. They are hooked into the mainframe of the company, and calls are rerouted into their computer in their home. So when you understand that aspect of business, then you understand how business is being done today. You could debate the most important skill set required to run a business. You could even, as many declare, that it's marketing expertise. Others will insist it's the ability to create quality products. Still others will state it's relationship building prowess. And why relationship building? Because today many companies have an online presence and they have affiliates and distributors helping them to build that business by word of mouth advertising. And why is that important? Because you know what? If I refer someone to a product and I'm an affiliate with the company, I get commission. So I'm being paid for a referral. Whereas if you go to a retail store and you go to a corporation, not only are you paying for the product, but you're paying for the middleman's salary, and you're paying the salesman's salary, and you're paying the stocking fee. So it's a multi-layered field that has changed, and which has allowed companies to pay out those commissions directly to the consumer or the distributor or the associate, because you are usually also not only the customer, or rather the seller or the middleman, but you're also a customer at the same time. But one thing in business is not debatable. It is the most critical aspect of any business. It is the single most important thing you need to obtain and maintain in order to keep your doors open. In fact, it's the very lifeblood of your organization. That's customers. Making sure that your customers are beyond satisfied with your products, your services, and ongoing correspondence should be your number one priority. And how do you do that as your number one priority? You do that with autoresponders. You send them updates. You send them information that can help them with whatever product they're using, whatever they're considering, however it can help them build a successful business and today. But sometimes the system breaks down and you end up disappointing your customers. Yes, mistakes happen. Sometimes your employees screw up. Sometimes you do. Sometimes the mistake is small. Sometimes it's major. Sometimes your customer is having a bad day. Sometimes your customer is understanding. And every once in a while, along comes your worst nightmare. That 1 in a million customer who is just not happy unless he's miserable. It doesn't matter which scenario you are dealing with, but you have a lot at stake. Not just your time and money, but your reputation as well. The good news is that you can turn it from an unhappy customer into a happy customer, one who stays with you and becomes your biggest fan. And I just want to give a short little blurb because we just saw the launch of the Note 8, and Samsung had a big disaster when the Note 7 came out. Why? Because when they built the compartments for the battery, there were defects there that they did not catch. Guess what? It blew up in their faces. And now that they've come out with the Note 8, they have to do everything they can to make sure that those customers that come back and use their products are just as happy as they were before. 10 surefire ways to ensure customer exuberance. Cool off. Never deal with a customer problem immediately after reading or listening to nasty correspondence. Take a moment to cool down. This way, once you start to investigate the situation, you can do so from a professional and an objective perspective, rather than reacting emotionally or being defensive. I know it's extremely hard to simmer down after you or some aspects of your company have been attacked. We take pride in what we do. When someone questions one of our products, one of our employees, or our integrity, it is personal. However, you must be able to acknowledge the underlying complaint or problem, separate yourself from the situation, and respond to a professional manner. That way, you can come out of the situation knowing your actions were above reproach. And I would like to use as an example of a company called Game Loot Network. It's in the mobile gaming industry. And it's a very good industry to be in because so many people have smartphones and they play games on those smartphones. The problem is that the company did not have their ducks in a row and they did not have the games online before they started their pre-launch and getting people to come in as affiliates. Plus, during that pre-launch, they were offering founder positions as a way to raise money for the company. So they were offering people basic investments in the company as founders. And what they were buying as founders were tokens. The tokens were initially to be used to play games in tournaments or in the reward centers to bid on products. But guess what? The games never worked right. They turned around and then they when they changed the pay plan, they refused to talk to the people who paid in to the company as founders. So now the Governor's Consumer Protection Agency is getting involved, and at the same time, the SEC is looking into them and their problems and what's going on. So they will have some real problems down the road because they refuse to deal with their founders and either pay them back or give them what they had promised. Listen, let your customer tell you his or her issue without interruption. When you try to correct or interrupt your customer, you will make matters worse. Apologize. If you are the person the customer is speaking to, always apologize and take responsibility. Let her know that you intend to get to the bottom of the situation once you have all the facts. If you cannot resolve the situation during the initial communication, let the customer know that you will get back to it within 24 hours. Make sure you follow through with the conversation. Why is this important? Because you want them to come back as repeat customers. Corporations understand this. They understand that their lifeblood comes from their customers. And they are doing everything they can today to bend over backwards because they understand that the competition is growing. And you got to stay on the cutting edge of technology and understanding what is going on and how it is going to work for you or to backfire in your face. Assess the situation. There is an old saying that goes like this: when you assume, you make an ass out of you and me. As corny as it is, it's correct. Don't make assumptions. Always get all the facts before trying to resolve a problem. If your employees are involved, talk to them. Ask them to give you their side of the story. If a joint venture partner is involved, even if she resides in a different time zone, wake her up or have an email ready for her in the morning. Your customer may and usually does have a legitimate issue that may be a simple misunderstanding. When you know facts and refrain from jumping to conclusions, you will usually be able to find a quick and mutually beneficial resolution. Today, no matter what business you're in, you need to understand that communication with your customer is the biggest way to resolve differences and to get all parties together to sit down and work through all the issues that are there. Communicate via phone. How many times have you received an email and thought, boy, was that rude? When I speak to that person, I will give him a piece of my mind, only to speak to that person and find him to be polite and respectful. It is so hard to detect tone of voice in an email. A phone call is much better, especially when you're dealing with an upset and dissatisfied customer. But conveying the tone of voice is just one reason to correspond by phone. The other is that a phone call is immediate and it takes more effect than dashing call is off the email. Picking up the phone shows respect to a sense of urgency and make it clear that you are about the customer's experience and want to solve the issue and leave as soon as possible. If the customer does not answer, leave him or her a message and then follow up with an email. The more ways that you interact and try to deal with a problem before it becomes more than a problem shows that you care and you value that customer. And at this day and point, it is up to you to keep that relationship going. Because you know what? If you don't, you have a competitor that will. Never dispute a refund. All of your products should come with a money-back guarantee. If a customer wants to return a product for a refund, either within or outside the refund period, give him his money back. This shows that you are more interested in your customer's satisfaction than in his money. It's a good way to keep yourself in that person's goodwill. By the way, don't worry about the people taking advantage of this. While some customers will ask for a refund at any time, most customers will honor your refund time frame. Send a surprise follow-up gift. We all love getting surprise gifts in the mail. Well, so do our customers. There are wonderful online services from which you can order little gifts for under $10. If you just saved $500, $1,000, or $5,000 sale, isn't spending $10 on a gift worth it? While it doesn't need to be expensive, some make sure that the gift is personal and thoughtful. Do not send your customer a digital ebook via email or anything else that shows little effort. The idea here is very simple. There are places like the Oriental Trading Company where you can buy little gifts that are seasonal or donate or where like the during breast cancer season, or especially if you have information about your customer, which is why you build a relationship with them, because when you build that relationship, you'll know when someone has a birthday, you'll know when someone has someone that's ill in their family, when they have something that they need. And if you send them something that reminds them of you and that you care, then what you're showing them is that you want their business, that you're willing to go out of the way to get it. Never ignore complaints. So many entrepreneurs make the mistake of ignoring customer comments and complaints, especially if the complaints come from only one or two people. They brush it off as an anomaly. In reality, for every one comment you hear, there are 33 people who feel exactly the same way or have the same problem, but just choose not to tell you. And you can be sure that if they choose not to tell you, they will not buy from you again. And guess what? I'm going to use this as an example that with Game Loot Network, the founders, because he ignored them, went to the Consumer Protection Agency to get their money back. Now, the Consumer Protection Agency is only a mediator. And many of the people have already felt that once they get their money back, then they will be satisfied. And very few of them want to pursue it any further than that, to have the company shut down, because simply that what they did to one person, they will go out and do to someone else to get that money back that they have had to pay back. So remember, who you are, how you do business, it all comes down to you. Meet with your team. I am not big on meetings for the sake of meetings. However, you should hold a team meeting every week. This way, you will hear about any and every potentially demanding or damaging situation. This is where members of your team should bring up issues that need to be addressed right away, and survey your customers. Communicating with your customers and asking them for their thoughts shows that you really care about them. Ask them to tell you not only what they like about your organization, but also what they don't like. Chances are that you will already know what you're doing right, but you may not be aware of some of the things that are bothering your customers. Do not blow off the complaints or negative comments just because you disagree or do not want to face reality. Every complaint is an opportunity for you to improve your business. All these tactics can help you save relationships with your customers. But no matter what, whenever you deal with a customer, happy or angry, satisfied or dissatisfied, remember this: put yourself in the customer's shoes. And we have been discussing things that you can do to help your customer be a better, build a better relationship. These are things that are coming to the forefront now, because you know what? Competition is getting much, much worse than it used to be. You are having to think of ways that you can build a business and relationships, because today more business is being done online than any place else in the marketplace. And it takes a tougher way to build and create. And let me reiterate this. You have companies like SurveyMonkey where you can, or when you what you've noticed in Target or Walmart is they will have a code there, and they will suggest to you to call a number. And when you answer those questions to do the survey, then you will be put into a pot where you have the opportunity to win a gift card. Well, why is that important? Because there are people that will go and take surveys so you can improve your customer service. And when you improve your customer service, then guess what? You are going to create better opportunities to keep your customers happy. And that's the bottom line. And I have been working with someone to do some career coaching and making some suggestions to him that years ago, corporations used to train their employees and make sure that everyone understood the mission of the company and the purpose, and if they were in line for a promotion, to send them for leadership training. But today, when you are being interviewed, if you show that you have taken the initiative and gone out and taken these courses yourself to improve your skills, then you are letting the corporation know that you have more of an interest in what happens to the company and how you can help them build their business. And go to my website. That website is the #1, personalcareercoach.com, and we can work with you on building a good relationship and a good mission for your company to become successful in the future.